Hey guys, welcome to Thursday, April 2nd. Let's see, I'm going to make this one short today because there's not a ton to get done if you got it done yesterday, but I know that Schoology was being obnoxious yesterday, and even I was kicked out of it. I couldn't see your responses, I couldn't see your submissions, it locked me out of those kinds of things, so don't freak out. That's why we have these built-in other 2 days if, that kind of stuff happens. So today for my personal self, I will start moving things over to Google Classroom. This was our test week, it really was. Even though last week some of you participated in my practice stuff, this really was a test week to figure out what works, what doesn't. Obviously we didn't know, well, we could have guessed that that would have happened when everybody got on. And the Schoology and the district are trying to figure it out. So they've got plans in place, and if they have plans in place by the end of the week that we know next week are going to work, then we will stick with what we have. And I will still back everything up on Google Classroom just in case those things happen, because we don't want this to be a reality next week too. So I know that that's frustrating, and I know you're doing a really good job with trying not to get frustrated by it, but also just not letting it get to you. There are things that you're doing this week that will set up your work for the rest of the quarter if we have to be online for the rest of the quarter, but don't freak out about this week. I know I've been getting a lot of messages about what if I fall behind, what if I can't get this done. Don't worry. This week is the practice for that. Every grade that I'm putting in for this week is a formative so far. Some, like your journal, will turn into a summative. A couple of them will turn into summatives. But for this week, it's just practice. It's just you and me working through the kinks. It's okay. So don't freak out. Word of the day. It is April 2nd. It is my third week of social distancing. I am trapped inside and I'm not loving it, but it's okay because it's for the greater good. Today's word is blithesome, which is similar to being carefree and not having worries, kind of going with the flow. I think that works well for this week and kind of the predicament that we're in. So, blithesome is our word for the day. All right, so I'm going to say it again. Please use the Google Slides. That has every link on there, and it's going to stay the same whether we're on Schoology or on Classroom, because I will literally just link the links to Classroom instead of Schoology if that's what we need to do. So it's going to be a pretty easy switch over for us. It's going to look pretty much the same if you've all taken which I think almost all of you have, done my journalism enrichment when we were in school. You use the journalism classroom, but we also have our own ELA classroom that when we finished and published our writing pieces this year, we used that to publish them into our classroom. So you're all a part of the classroom, and I will still include the code just in case you don't know where it is or can't get to it. But I bet when you go to your Google Classroom from your squares up top right on your Google, I bet you will see Jones ELA. So if we need to switch over, it's going to be a really easy switch. So back to what I was saying. Please check the Google Slides first. It has every link, every template, every directions, has the video, has the check-in, etc., etc. Has fun stuff. Please start there. I'm getting a lot of messages on Remind and in my email about, where do I find this? This isn't working. I can't unlock this because you didn't view my video of the day, which is my overview and my instructions. It's like what I do at the beginning of class after we read, and I give you instructions and the overview of what's going to happen that day. So if you're not doing that, start doing that, please. It's really going to help you, I promise. Okay, next. Went through that. I already told you about Google Classroom. I'm going to start playing around with that today. I'm really going to start moving stuff over. I don't want you to start using Google Classroom yet unless we get the word that Schoology is just not going to work for us. But again, if we get to Friday and you need to submit things and you can't open them, I'm just going to have you go to Classroom. I will tell you to do that. Don't worry, I'll give you my updates in Remind, and I'll tell you to go to Google Classroom and do that. So don't forget about that yet. Keep trying Schoology. I know it's tricky. I know it's frustrating. You're doing great with it. Don't worry. Don't fret. That's why this is practice week. Not a big deal. Okay. Please, now that I'm talking about that, please, if you can, submit things at the end of the week. So the couple things that we're submitting this week, your reading log does not need to be submitted on Friday because I think it goes through Sunday. I gave you 7 slots for it. If you read over the weekend, I want you to be able to access it again, so you don't need to submit that. I'm not going to grade it. Your journal needs to be submitted by the end of Friday, which is the end of tomorrow. If you've already done your 2 and you think they're great, go for it. Go submit it. Some of you, I graded yours already, and some of you did great, and they were 3s, 3.5. Some of you did not read my instructions, and you got less than a 3. So if you want to unsubmit that, you have to let me know, and you want to add stuff to it, go for it. But you got to let me know first so I can unsubmit it for you. Okay, the other thing, your bucket list. I loved looking at your bucket list. I loved seeing the places you want to go, the books you want to read. I got a lot of recommendations for TV shows and movies to watch. And I loved seeing your kind of travel plans, like if you could go anywhere. Those are some really cool places. Some of you were very specific, which I wanted you to be, of where you were going, like a certain river and this certain place and this place where fishing is good and this place where I get to see these colors. So that was really cool. So if you haven't done your bucket list activity yet, that's okay, because yesterday was kind of goofy. It's a fun one. So get on there and do your bucket list activity. The point was for you to do research, not say, oh, California, oh, that book series, oh, that movie. It was for you to go actually look for things that you didn't know about before. Look up white sand beaches, look up coolest trails, look up fun stuff. That was the point of it. That's why it's a bucket list activity. It's not stuff you're going to do all next year. It's stuff you might do in your lifetime. So that one was really fun. And then your work from home schedule. I think I have a couple of you that submitted it after yesterday. I told you that I unsubmitted them for you before yesterday because I wanted you to actually edit them with what you learned, especially about this kind of lockout from Schoology sometimes of the day. Some of us adjusted our plans. Some of us are morning people. We get up and we're like, great, Schoology's locked us out. We can't do our work. And some of us are afternoon people and we didn't even see that at all. So we haven't really had to change our plans. So if you changed which you should have, adjusted your work from home schedule, then go back and submit it. I think there's a couple in each class that I already graded because you guys submitted them. Some of you if you got less than a 3, it was because you weren't specific enough. I went through that in yesterday's video and asked you to be specific, not say work, relax, blah-de-blah. What does that mean? Specificity, guys. We're in 8th grade. We are in ELA. We are working on words. So be specific, be concise, use detail. It doesn't need to be descriptive. It doesn't need to have figurative language. It just needs to be more specific than what you said with 1 or 2 words. Okay? All right. Okay, I think I got that. A big reminder, I've said it in the last 2, now 3 videos. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, everything on those slides is required. So if you haven't done the flip grid of your workspace, you need to do that. If you did the flip grid of your workspace and you didn't read my instructions in the flip grid, please go back and do that, because some of you literally just put a 2-second video up showing like a close-up of your desk, like the wood on your desk, which is not what I asked you to do. I suppose I asked you to let us visualize it and see it, but you didn't speak in your video, you didn't provide explanation. There were 3 things listed, so I need you to go back and do those. 3, Miss Jones knows numbers. Okay, so again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, everything's required. Tuesday, Thursday, not required, that's optional. I don't want you to do that stuff until you finish Monday and Wednesday. So today I'll put up a slide basically with stuff from yesterday, and throughout the day I'll add some fun stuff for you. I usually add that at the beginning of the week at a glance, but some of you are going to be at the point today that you've done everything, so I'll try to find some of those fun stuff. I did find some really cool podcasts yesterday, and if you are not into podcasts, do not worry. I was not into podcasts before, I don't know, a couple months ago, and now I'm totally into podcasts. They're great for the background. So there's some really fun ones on there. And then I think there's 1 or 2 things I'm going to add on for you today of fun stuff that I found. So again, do not do Tuesday, Thursday stuff until you're done with Monday, Wednesday. And I think most of you are not done with Monday, Wednesday, only because we've been locked out of Schoology so much. So I need most of you to focus on Monday and Wednesday work today. Somebody asked yesterday about the journal. Again, the directions were you need 2 a week. I might scale that up as we move on to the next couple weeks. But this week you only need 2. If you wanted more than that, go for it. I love reading your journal entries. They're very, very fun. Okay, today at 1 p.m. I am going to, well, not at 1 p.m., before 1 p.m., I'm going to look at your work, see if you've done everything from Monday to Wednesday. And I have a list of people who yesterday on the daily check-in checked that they would want to meet for a Google Meet and a Google Hangout. And I have 15 names. I'll look again today to see if anybody did it last night after I was done on the computer. But I have 15 names. The majority said either or 1 p.m., so the 3 of you that said 11, sorry, we're going to do 1. I hope that's okay for you. But I have check boxes next to your names, and I'm going to go at about 12:15, 12:30, go check that you have all your work done. And then at 1 p.m., probably 12:30, 12:45, I will send those people that do have their work done an email that has the link to join the Google Meet. So again, if you get the email between 12 and 1, let's say 12:30 and 1, then click on that, and then you get to join the Google Meet. And we'll do a live, and we'll hang out, we'll chat, and stuff like that. If you don't get it, that means you didn't finish your work. And that might be as simple as you didn't click submit. That's not finishing it. That's not handing it in. Make sure you're doing those things. Some of you were very confusing in your daily check-in, and you either checked no, that you didn't want to meet, but then you checked an option down below for time, like you wanted to meet. So if you checked no, I did not write your name down because you selected no, but you had also selected a time that you wanted to meet. That was confusing, so we got to check our work thoroughly. If you checked no, I did not include you in this. We'll do another one, don't worry. If we all have our work done Friday, we can do another one then. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, okay. So if you don't get that email, don't freak out. It was either that you checked no, or you didn't have all your work done, or you're missing out because you're not doing the daily check-in like I asked you to do every day. So, all right, here's my questions. What is my biggest fear? My biggest fear. Number 1, no coffee. Like, coffee being gone. Like, what if someone came into my house and took all my coffee? Like, that'd be awful. That was a fun one. I think a real one is probably, I don't like big depths and spaces of unknown stuff. Like, take, for example, the ocean. I love going to the ocean. I love being on the beach. But I get super, super freaked out when I don't know what's beneath me or around me if I'm, like, out in the open. So that's kind of a big one. Did you put A? I didn't finish writing that question. I literally wrote, did you put A? So, did you put A? I'm going to go with no, because I don't know the rest of that question. I'll look at it. I'll look through the daily check-in and see what I missed there. 3, do you think we will go back to school this year? In my own opinion, and if I had to guess, obviously I don't know everything. We know that. But I am very well informed, or consider myself very well informed. And since it's been extended to April 30th, if you think about it, we only have about 3 weeks after that. I will not be surprised if we do not return for the school year. I will be sad about it, and I hope that maybe when we can have big gatherings again, we can get the whole 8th grade together and do something fun, since we won't be able to do your last day of school, maybe. But we'll phrase it this way, that I won't be surprised if we don't go back, which is sad. Would you rather live without pizza or Chinese food? Pizza. I love Chinese food. There's so much variety. I know pizza has variety too, and I do love pizza. But I think I'd rather have to give up pizza. I don't want to give up Chinese food. It's too good. Okay. Freshwater or saltwater fish as pets? I'm going to go with freshwater because we have one. I do that every time. Over there. Still bad at this. There's twerk. So freshwater. Saltwater would be cool. Tell me what kind of saltwater pets are out there. Do you miss tag in our classroom? Yes, Andy, I do. I do miss our tag sessions. Do I have kids? I have 90 kids, all of you that I have to take care of. But no, I do not have kids. Why does this all have to happen right now? Sad face. I don't know. I don't like it. It's frustrating. It's sad. I think about everybody who, like seniors in high school that are missing out on like the most fun time of their schooling. I think about families that can't visit each other. If you have a grandma or grandpa in like a nursing home or something, those pictures online, people saying hi and like talking through windows makes me really sad. I'm an orange blue, like I told you on the personality test, and I sometimes cannot deal with those kinds of things. They just overwhelm me emotionally. So I totally get your question. I understand. I know that it's totally okay to feel, even though other people are dealing with way more than some of us, and some of us are dealing with less, we're all still dealing with stuff, and it's unfair, and it's okay to feel like that. It's okay to feel that it's unfair, and it's okay to talk about it. It's okay to complain. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel like your feelings. It's also okay to feel like your feelings are not as strong as somebody else's. Like, it's okay to feel bad about feeling bad, honestly. All those feelings are okay. Just talk about them, write about them, tell me about them. I don't have to share them, but I don't know. I wish this didn't have to happen now. But hopefully it makes, honestly, the world a better place because of it, and helps us help other people because of it. So there are positives. even though it really doesn't feel like it right now. We'll see him soon. So keep your head up. It's okay to be sad about it. And one more would you rather. Would you rather read minds or be able to teleport? I would want to teleport. I do not want to know everything in everybody's head, just like I don't think anyone wants to know what's in my head. I would love to be able to go anywhere at any time and get there like that. That'd be awesome. So those are my questions for today. I will see you in the Google Meet later if you get invited for having all your work done. And I'll shout out a remind in just a couple minutes after the slide is live and this video is live. Okay, have a good Thursday.